So hello and what's up everybody, welcome back to Screen Technicals. In this video we are going to create the Telegram web clone 1.0 powered by Firebase, created using Next.js and Tailwind CSS. Now on my screen you can see I have opened two browsers. This is Chrome and this is Safari, right? So I have logged in using two different accounts in my different browsers. Now let's say I'm writing here, let's say simply like hi, hitting enter, and you can see at this point I got the hi, and you can see the the timing of my message, right? If I'm writing here, let's say from here, let's say writing here like hey, what's up, just like this, hitting enter, and it will just take some time to load the date, and you can see the date has been changed, and you can see this thing, boom. So I'm writing here, like say let's get started, hitting enter, and you can see the let's get started at this point. So this is really awesome, right guys? Let's say I'm writing here like searching for, let's say I'm writing here simply A, and you can see it's going to show me all the results that contains A. You can say all the users which contain the letter A, right? You can say this, if you click on this, it will just add this at this point, right? Now if I click on this, it will just show me this thing, and you can see the last seen at this point. And let's say if you can see this is showing me online at this point, so I will just open this thing because these two accounts are online right now. And let's say I'm closing one of this account, let's say I'm just closing this one, click on this leave, and you can see it hasn't changed, last seen at, you can see this thing. So this is really awesome, right? So let's start creating this in this video. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, then make sure you are subscribing to the channel, right? And let me show you one thing. Just search for screentechnicals.com. You can find the link in the description box. Here you can see this thing, the Telegram clone 1.0. Click on this. Just let me make it full screen, just like this. And here you're going to find the source code of this project that I have built, right? That is this one's, right? And you can see you can just follow these instructions and you are good to go. So just open up your terminal and go in cd into your desired directory, and then run this command. That is yarn create next-app, and write the name of your app, that is in this case is Telegram-clone, right? And let's say I'm writing here like YouTube YT, hitting enter, and this will create our Next.js app in this directory. So finally it is completed, right? Now cd into our there is the Telegram, that is Telegram-clone-yt, and right here ls, and you're going to find all these you can find these files at this point. So right here I'm going to open up my VS Code. So right here code space dot, hit enter, and you can see this thing. And now let's close this thing, and let's say just come to this point, come to my website. And here we need to install the Tailwind CSS, right? So just copy this command, right? You can also find those commands in the documentation of the Tailwind CSS, or you can just go and copy and paste it from my website, right, from there. So just give the time to it to install the Tailwind CSS, and then after that just copy this line. This line will initialize our you just create a tailwind config.js file, and it's done. Paste this command, hit enter, done, right? Now at this point you're going to find this tailwind config.js. Now we're going to modify that. Come to this point, just copy this much of thing and just paste at this point, command A, command B, save, and then copy these things, command C, and just open up your styles. Inside this you're going to find this globals.css, command A, command V, save this thing. Now come to this point, and then we need to install our Firebase and this Firebase React Firebase hooks. So because we are going to use Firebase as our database, and then we need to do these configurations. So let's do it quickly. Just copy these commands, come here, paste these things, hit enter, and in the meanwhile just come to this point, just open up your Firebase console and let's create a new project. Unless I'm writing it like Telegram, maybe like Telegram clone YouTube, just like this. Continue. Just close this thing. I'll just create the project. And in the meanwhile, come to this point in your VS Code, and at this point we are going to create a new folder, or you can say a new file. Let's say if you want, you can just create a folder. You can put your Firebase configuration inside that folder. So I'm simply creating a firebase.js file. So right here like firebase.js, hit enter, and then come to this point, click on this continue. You will just open up your Firebase and come to this point and like just copy these things. These are the configurations that we're going to need, right? So come here, command V, and you have to just change your Firebase config. So let me show you from where you can get that. So like click on this project settings, create a web app, click on this. At this point I'm going to write my, let's say this is Telegram -clone -YouTube, and just click on this register app. We are not going to host this on Firebase, we are going to host it on Vercel. Next.js is created and managed by Vercel. So let's see. Now here you are going to find your configurations. Just copy this thing and come to this point, and here I'm going to paste it with this. Right click, format document, save these things. Now in your case you have to what you should do is you should create a .env file, and you should put all these things inside your environment variables, inside your env files as an environment variables, right? Now let's say it is you can say I'm just giving you the tutorial, so I'm not creating the env files for right now. So right here, continue to console, and now let's see. At this point you can see Firebase has been installed successfully. So right here like clear, and let's say I'm just closing this thing, and here I'm going to press command J. It will just open up the terminal at this point. Right here ls, and you can see all your files. So right here yarn dev, hit enter, and come to this point, command T, localhost 3000, and you're going to find this thing, right? So let's first clean the things. Close this thing, close this thing, close this thing also. Open the pages folder, open the index.js, and at this point I'm going to remove all these things. Change this JavaScript to React, hit enter. I'm going to create a div, save this thing. Now at this point you're going to see a blank page. Now I'm going to add some of the images to my public folder. You can download those images from the link in the description box, you can say, right? So let me first add those files. Now at this point you can see my images in a GIF folder, right? You can see find this GIF. You can see this thing, and you can find these images at this point, right? Now let's go to our website at this point, and we're going to install this thing, yarn this React icons. Command J and press command / paste this thing, hit enter, done. Now let's close this thing, right? And right here like yarn dev, start my server again, command J, and then you need to add this thing to your next config.js to use the images offered by the Firebase, right? because we are going to get the images from Firebase. So for that you need to add this thing to your next config.js. So paste this thing, save this thing, and just make sure you restart your server. Hit enter, command J, and now you can find this creating the basic front end. Now we are going to create the front end part of our website, right? Now before doing this, just scroll down and you're going to find this CSS, right? So just copy this much of CSS, just copy this thing, command C, come here and open up your styles folder, go to your globals.css, and after this just paste these things, right click, format document, save these things. Now let me tell you, if you want your background as like a black and white just like mine, then you can use this thing, or if you want a linear gradient you can use this thing. So let me show you what I'm saying. Come to this point and let's say this one you are not going to find anything. So let's see, dot gradient, right? We have to just create a folder with this name. So let's add this class name first, right? So I just need to copy this thing, right? Now close this thing, and this thing also, and close all the folders, open up your pages and open up your this app.js folder. And at this point what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a div, right? So just command X, and it is going to be like, I'm going to create a div, so make it like React, and inside this I'm going to paste this thing, save it, and then at this point I'm going to give it a class of flex, save this thing. Now after this just go to your index.js, and then I'm going to give it a class, and it's going to be like the gradient, right? Gradient, and then width of full, and height should be screen, and I want like overflow hidden. Save this much of thing, right? Now just come to this point and you are going to find this image at this point, right? Now let's just minimize this thing, and you are going to find this thing, right? This looks pretty much clean, right? So I just make it like side by side. So just hover over this, click on this one. Now this looks nice. Now I'll just open up your globals.css. Let's say if you want this linear gradient color, just copy this much up thing, and let's say if we paste at this point just like this, save this thing, and it will just come like this. So what's going to be wrong with this? We have this thing. Okay, so save this thing. We have to just paste it at this point, not over that. So paste it like this, and you can see these things. And let's say I'm just removing this linear gradient from here, save it, and you're going to find this thing. So if you want, you can just use this thing also. So I'll just put it at this point just like this, save this thing. Now it's up to you. If you want to use this thing, you can use this thing. If you want to use that black and white thing, you can use that one. Now I want I want to just keep a linear gradient over this, so because it is pretty much very it looks very much very bright. So let's say I'll just paste this thing, and I will just change this thing to like this, save this thing, and this looks nice, maybe like 0.5. Yeah, let's say I'm using for this video, let's say I'm using this linear gradient sort of thing, right? Now we are going to create the sidebar component, right? So you can say at this point we're going to create a new folder, and I'm going to name it as components, right? Hit enter, and inside this I'm going to create a new file, and I'm going to name it as sidebar .jsx, right here, RAFCE. Hit enter, and you're going to find this thing, right? Save this much of thing. Now open up your app.js, and at this point I'm going to add my sidebar component just like this, save this thing, and you're going to find this thing. Now go to your sidebar component and just give it a class of w dash, let's say 400 pixels, and let's say it looks like this. Let's make it like 450. It's going to look like this. So let's say I'm making it as like 600. Save it. Yeah, it looks quite good. And let's say I'm giving it like h screen. So like screen, not like this, it should be h screen, just like this. And then let's say I'm giving it a padding of 5, and let's say a background of, let's just copy the color. Now it's up to you. You can just give whatever color you want. Save this thing, and you're going to find this color, right? This color looks pretty much very decent. Let's say I'm just increasing it like this much of thing. Let's try something. Yeah, this looks nice, right? This is pretty much beautiful color, right? Now after this, I'm going to create another div inside this, right? At this point, just remove the sidebar and create another div and give it a class of flex, and item should be center, and I want like a width to be like full. It should take the full width of of the sidebar. And then I want to give it a space x of, let's say, 4. Now at this point, I'm going to create, let's open up my first the Telegram clone, this thing. You can see I have just posted this on Vercel, and you can see that little that loading effect that occurs. Now at this point, you're going to find this thing, this bar, and this search, this search input tag, right? Now let's come to this point. Let's create that. So basically what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to create another div, right? And at this point, I'm going to create a button, and it's going to be like inside this I'm going to add that bar. So just search for React icons, and at this point search for menu, and you're going to find all this type of menu. So let's say I'm going to use let's say this one, F5. It should be like this one. Copy this thing, click on this, come to this point, and at this point paste this thing just like this, and we have to import that right here. Import, give the curly brackets, paste it, and at this point right here, like from, not from, is from, import from right React icons / F5. Save this thing, and you're going to find that thing, right? Now I'm going to give it some class to this button. So right here, class of first I want the class should be like text -2xl. Save this thing. This looks nice, right? And after this div, I'm going to create, not this, after this div I'm going to create another div, and inside this div so at this point what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my this little search search bar first. So let's search for like search, and let's see, I'm going to use this one. Copy this thing, come to this point, and at this point paste this as like this, and we have to import that thing also. So just like this, I'm going to paste it like here, and just change this to this F to A. Save this thing, and you can find this thing, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another div. I'm just going to create another div, and then inside this div I'm going to paste this thing, and then at this point I'm going to give it a class of text - let's say 3xl. So look like this, make like 2xl, looks like this, or maybe like xl. This looks nice, and I want this to be like absolute. Now to make it absolute, I have to make it like, I have to just add a class. So this div should be like relative, so it will be like to this according to this div it should be like absolute, right? Now after this I'm going to create an input tag, right? So after this div, right, so right here like input, and type will be text, right? And then what I want is I want to give it a class name let's say for first I'm going to give it a border. Let's say you can see that thing, and like I want the bg dash transparent. Save it. I want like w dash full, and just come to this point, just give w dash full to this. Boom, you can see this thing. And let's say I want like px dash let's say 10 and py dash 2. Save this thing. And then I want like rounded full. Save this thing just like this. And what I want is I want to just give it a border. The color should be like hashtag 494949. 49. Save this thing. And just like this, triple 49s, right? And I want to just align this in the center, right, at this point, vertically center. So what I can do is I can write here like flex and item center. Save this thing, and you can see that thing. And it should be like from left. I want this let's write right here minus, and right here like left. From left I want it to be like 3. Save it. Okay, just remove the minus. Yeah, looks great to me. Now what I want is, now if you click on this, you can find this ugly outline. So what I can do is come to this point, and I can write like outline should be none. Save this thing. And then I want like focus. I can add like focus should be like, let's say you can just make it like focus, let's say like border. Just change the color to be CD71FF. So it is like a purplish color. Now if you can see, if I click on this, you can see this color, right? Just like that. Now I want, a placeholder. So I can like placeholder, make it like search. Save this thing. Looks great, right? Now if you see these things, both are quite similar, but you can see I've written here like search here. So let's add that here also. Just like that. Looks great. You can see these things. Amazing, right? Now let's create, you can say this drop down sort of thing, right? If you click on this, you can see this thing, this drop down, right? And you can see background blur, drop, or drop shadow, or you can say or backdrop effect, right? So let's create that thing. So where's that button? At this one, inside this one, I'm going to create a div. I'm going to give it a class of like w-300 pixels, and I want like rounded. It should be like rounded. It should have like, let's see at this point, if I click on this, you can see I have rounded border from these 3 sides only. So it should be like rounded dash bottom, just like this. And let's first make it like absolute. Save this thing, right? And you can see this thing. Let's give it a background color also, bg dash hashtag triple F. Right now I'm making it like white color. And let's add something like add some buttons at this point first. So let's say I'm writing a simple like something like just like this y. So you can see this thing, right? Now what I want is rounded should be like from bottom. So it should be like rounded. So remove this extra. Should like rounded round by the n at this point, rounded from bottom, and should be like dash xl, just like that. And should be like rounded dash top right dash xl. Save this thing. Looks great. Now I'm going to add an image at this point. So I'm going to write here like image. So I'm going to use the image component of the Next.js, and I'm going to import right here at this point, import image from next/future/image. Now at this point I'm going to add my source. Src is equals to and let's say I'm going to import my default image. So let's say I'm writing right here like import default image from $public /images /default.png, and I'm going to add that thing at this point. Should like default image, save this thing, and you can find this image, and you can download all these images from the link in the description box. So I'm going to give it a width of, let's say like 100, or and then let's say height of 100. So it should be like let's make it like 50, or let's like 70, 80 looks nice, right? And then I'm going to give it like priority should be true, and then quality should be full, that is 100, right? Now you need to add these things because sometimes, because whenever you're going to see some warnings when you just reload your page sometimes, right, in the console, right? So if you can just search for like Next.js image, just like this, click on this link, and here you're going to find this thing, that is, where's that, loader, sizes, quality, priority. You can find all these things. You can find this next future, this slash image. We are using this, right? We're not using this next image, we're using this thing, next slash future slash image. You can find this thing. The next slash future component improves both the performance and developer experience of next slash image by using the native img element with better default behavior, right? So it is pretty much simple like the img tag, but it is like more enhanced img tag, right? Now at this point, what I'm going to do is where is that, at this point, flex dash call, and like justify center, save this thing, and like item center, boom. And then I'm going to give it some padding like p-5, so it's going to look like this. And you can see it is like absolute, so I can just give it like from top, I want it should be like 10. Okay, let's make it like 20 looks nice. Let's make it like 14, 16 looks nice. And let's say I'm making it like from left, I want it should be like 20, maybe like 14, maybe like 12. Okay, 12 looks nice. Let's say 10. Yeah, this looks nice. Or maybe like 12 looks more nice, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just change this thing. So it's going to be like this. So it should be like this thing. And I'm going to give it a backdrop of filter. So backdrop blur of small, save this thing, right? And you're not going to see the changes right now. You're going to see the changes when, if you can say, when we are going after adding, you can say these things, you can say these cards, right? So let's first do one more thing. Let's add with a class, and it should be like border, save this thing, and rounded full, just like that. And you're going to find like w dash full. Okay, not w dash full. So let's increase this height to like 80, not 80, to like 100. Let's increase this thing to 100, and it's coming like this, and I don't want this to be like this. So let's first remove this padding, let's say okay. So one thing we can do is remove this class from this point, save this thing, and right here like command X, create a div, inside this paste this thing, and at this one I'm going to create a class of like w-100 pixels, h-100 pixels, overflow should be hidden, and like border and like rounded full. Save this thing and you can see this border, right, which looks nice. And let's say what I can do is I can just after this div I can create another div, and at this point let's say I'm writing here like an h1 tag. Let's say I'm writing here my name, just like this. Save this thing, you can find this thing, and then writing like creating a logout button. Right, like here button is going to be like log out. Save this thing and just give it like class. So I'm going to give it a class of like text-xl with bg-hashtag with w-full, and should be like text-black with py of 2, or let's make 1 with rounded -md. And let's say I can just give it like class w-full, and it's going to look like this. And I can just give it some margin. Now let's say I can just give some class to this thing, class of like text-xl and like my-2. So it's going to look like this, and this looks great, right? You can see this thing. Now let's say I'm going to add an hover effect to this thing, like at this point right here, like hover. It should be like let's say like bg-#000, and I want the red color, right? Okay, hover over this red color. Save this thing, and you can see this red color. And what I want is I want like transition of colors. Save this thing. Now this looks great, right? Now what I can do is I want like when I click on this it should appear, right? So you can just add like this class if you want. You can just add this class, or you can do it like with the help of Tailwind CSS. So if you want, you can just add this class to your this button, right? Where is that? To this button. Where is the button? To this button you can just add like drop down -btn, and you can add the drop dash down to your to this div, right? To this div, sorry, to this div, and that will work. But let's say in this case I'm just writing it like let's say I'm just adding it like right here, group, just like that. And I want this should be like let's say come to this point, I'm making it like -z-1. You can see that thing. And like opacity should like 0. Now what I can do is just copy this much of thing, right? And after this right here like group focus, right? And paste this thing just like this, and it should be like z-index should be like just change this to 2, or let's say 1, and right here like group dash focus, just like this, and make this opacity to 1, right? Or like 100, like 100, yeah. Over on this 1, right? Opacity 1 means 100, right? Now if you can see, if I click on this, you can see this thing. Now if I click outside, you can see this thing. So I'm going to change that red color, something like this. This looks nice. Or maybe like something dark like this, or like let's try this. Looks nice. And like I can just add another hover, like hover. I can make like text dash white. Save this thing, and let's see right now. You can see it. It looks nice, right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to create our, when I just search for it at this point, okay, when I search at this point, I want, a cross icon at this point. You can see at this point, if I write searching for like this, you can see this cross icon. If I click on this, you can see that thing. So I want that cross. So let's come to this React icons and search for that is close. And let's see, just like command F, it should be like IOMD close. This one, copy this thing. Now first import that thing. So just copy this thing, paste it here, and just change this to IO, just like that. Save it. Now after this input tag, I'm going to add that thing, right? So paste this thing, slash, just like that, save it, and just give it a class. So let's say I'm just giving it a, you just give it a or you can just put this inside a button tag. That will be more appropriate, right? So just copy this thing, command X, and right here create a button, paste it in, okay, paste this thing, and at this point I'm going to give it a class of absolute. Save this thing, and I want like a right, from right it should be like 0, or make it like 5, and like text dash 2xl, just like that. And let's say if I'm writing here like something like this, yeah, that looks nice. And let's say I'm just making it like from right, I want it like 4, right? And this is great, right? And after this thing, let's create, I don't want to show this just like that. It should be like whenever, if I'm writing something like here, then it should appear, right? So what I can do is I'm going to use the use state hook right here, use state snippet, and like right here like search, and make it like blank. Save this thing, and we have to import the use state, so make sure you're importing that. And at this point what I can do is first like come to the input tag at this point, and at this point I'm going to write here like on change, I'm going to create an anonymous function, pass the event. I'm going to like set search to e.target.value, and then I'm going to set the value to be like search. Save this thing. Okay, search. I see. Oh, we have just written the wrong spelling at this point, so make sure you're writing the correct spelling. So it should be like search, it should be like search. Save this thing. Now it's going to work. Now what I want is just select this thing, command X, use curly brackets, and right here like search, like I'm going to check like if search is it should be like let's say if search dot length, the length length, if the length of the search, if it is greater than 0, then only I want to show this thing, just like this. Save this thing, unless I'm writing here like something like that, I can see this thing. Now if I click on this, nothing happens. So what I can do is I can just create an on click function, right here on click, create an anonymous function. I want to like set my search to blank again, just like this. Save this thing. Now come to this point, if I now click on this, you can see that thing, just like this. If I click on this, boom, that's working, right? Now we have created, you can say, our this much of navigation sort of thing. You can see the search part and this thing. Now what we're going to do is now we are going to see the authentication part, right? So for that, what I'm going to do is at this point I'm going to create another file and naming it is like login.jsx. hit enter, RAFCE. Save this thing. Right now what I can do is just close this thing, come to your just close this thing first and come to your app.js, and here let's say I'm writing here like if true, it should be like if it is true, then I want to return my login component, just like this. Save this thing, and you're going to find this thing. Now we're going to change this to afterwards. Let's first create this login page, right? So come to your login.jsx, and at this point I'm going to import two things, that is these two images, right? And then what I'm going to do is after this thing, what I'm going to do is just remove this thing and just give it like class of w-full with h-screen, and overflow should be hidden, and like bg-hashtag, and I want the color. So let's say where is that? Come to the index.js, not index.js. Where is that? That sidebar. Just I'm writing here like hashtag a1. Save it. It will be a gray color. It is not so much good. So let's see. I can make it like this. This color looks great, right? Now at this point, what I can do is I can just write here like I can add at this point, let's see, let's log out, and you can find this image, this Telegram web, and this thing, right? This button. So we're going to create this thing. So come to this point, I'm going to create a div, and inside this div I need the image tag, just like this, and then I need to import my image tags right here, like import image from next/future/image, and then pass the source is going to be, in this case it's going to be the logo, just like that. Save this thing, and like I want the width to be like 100, and then I want like height to be 100 with priority equals to true with quality like 100. Save this much of thing and add alt at this point. Alt is equals to like this, and save this thing, and then just add this alt to your at this point also. Where is that? At this point alt is equals to like this. Save this thing. Now at this point after this I'm going to add the text. So I'm going to write here like h1 tag and like Telegram web. Save this thing, and like right here like class of text-4xl, and like font -extra bold. And what I want is come to this point, class of flex, and I want like item should be center, and then like space x of 4, just like that. That looks nice. And let's see at this point what I can do is I can just increase the text to be like 5xl, and then make it like simply bold. Looks nice. And I want this should be in the center. So what I can do is I can just come to this point, I can write here like justify center, but before that we have to just make it like flex. Save, and then I want like item should be like center and like flex dash call, just like that. And then I'm going to create another div, and then I'm going to write here like I'm going to just create a button, and then add the image. Just first copy this thing, paste here, change this to Google logo, save it, and change this to, let's say, 40. Looks nice. And then after this I'm going to hit a span element and write here like login with Google, just like that, and click on this. What I want is like class flex item center, and what I want is like text dash XL, maybe like 2XL. 2XL looks nice, and maybe like I can also make it like 3XL. Let's say I'm making like 3XL. This looks nice. And then I want like bg dash white, save it, with text dash black, with px dash 5, with py op 2, and I want like rounded full. Save this thing, and you can see this thing. And what I can do is I can add like a space y of 5 at this point, maybe like 10, so it's gonna look like this, and this looks nice. And what I can do is I can just add a hover effect. So at this point right here, like hover, it should be like bg dash hashtag f1, save it. Or I can just make it like just like that, and you can see this thing. This looks nice. And you can add a transition of colors, save it, and you can see this thing. This looks nice. And I can increase, let's say I can just change this full to MD, so it's look like this. So it's up to you. You can just make it like full or just like that. It's up to you, right? I have just in this case I have just made it like this rounded, and here I'm just making it like this. And what I can add also is, where is it? I can just write here like font dash bold, boom, maybe like semi bold, save it, looks nice. And I can write here like space x of 5, maybe like 3 looks nice, right? Now we have just completed this much of thing, right? Now let's first go and create the login system. So just go to your Firebase. At this point, just click on this build authentication, and at this point click on this get started, click on this Google, enable it, configure your email, save. Now come to this point, and at this point we are going to use our login system. So I'm going to write here like create a function like const, let's say login is equals to, is going to be like async function, just like that. And then it's going to be like await sign, sign, sign in with, it should be like sign in with lyth with pop up, just like that. And we have to you can say we have to just import this thing first. So right here like import this thing from Firebase /auth, it's like this, right? And then I'm going to pass my auth from a provider. Now you have to just import your provider. Just open up your firebase.js folder, and you can see at this point we have our auth and we have our provider. So we need to import this inside these two things, right? So come to your login.js, and at this point I'm going to import my auth and then my provider, just like that. Save this thing, and then you can say it is a simple button at this point. So I can just write here like on click, it should be like login, simply just like that. Now let's try to login. Click on this, and you can see this thing. Now it will, you can say you can see using this full screen mode. If you're not in your case, it will just pop out another tab, another screen, right? Another window. Now at this point I click on this, boom, and I am logged in. Now let's see, come to your app.js. At this point Now it was saying like, okay, if true, return this thing. Yeah. Now what I can do is I can write here like, I can just get my user, right? So I can write here like const user comma loading, and then what I can do is I can use the use auth, you can say use auth state. I can use this thing, use auth state, and I can pass my auth, and then what I need is I need to import my use auths right here, import use auth state from React Firebase hooks / auth. Now save this much of thing. Now right here like user is like if not user, save this thing, boom, and you can see this thing, right? Now what we can do is, now let's create a loading page first, right? You can see I have this loading, so I can use the load. Let's create the loading first, right? So what I can do is open this thing, create a new component, naming it is like a preloader. I can make like you can just write here like loading.jsx rafce, save this thing, and if you want you can just you can say, if I refresh this page, let's say reload, and let's first log in first, right? So that you can see that loading option, right? And you can see this thing. If I refresh the page, let's click on reload, you can see that a GIF at this point is a loader GIF. You can use that GIF. It's going to be pretty much simple. What you can do is you can just write here like, you can just add the image and then import that what is that, just import that GIF, or if you want you can just create a spinner. So it's up to you. Let's say I'm just adding that GIF. Just remove this closing tag because it will be a self closing tag, and I have to import that thing, this image component, copy this thing, paste it here, and then I have to import my GIF, so like loader, and like import from /public/gifs/ let's see, this is like loading.gif, right here, loading.gif, just like that, and here add the source MAGE, source is equals to loader, just like that, LOADER. Save this thing, come to this point, and let's come to this point, and let's, I'm writing here like if true, then what I want to is I want simply return, I want to return my loader, or is like loading component. Save this thing, and you can find this thing, and I want this background color to just cover this entire portion. So what I can do is can come to this point, and I can add this background color to this class, flex, justify center, item center, and w-full h-screen, and should be like overflow should be hidden, and then add this color, right? Save this thing, and you're going to find this thing. Looks amazing, right? Now come to this point and write like, just remove this true right here, like loading, just like that. Save this thing, and let's refresh this page, and you can see the thing, right? That's working, right? Now we have finally completed the authentication. Now let's first show the name and the image, and let's create this logout option first. Then we are going to create the sidebar, that is the search options. We are going to see these cards. Let's say I'm just searching for like ch, and you can see this thing. So we're going to create these cards, and then when I click on those cards, it will just add up to my chats to this point. And if I click on any of this, is going to show me the these things, right? Now just like that, and it is online because it is online on my other screen, right? So let's first close this thing, leave, close this thing, come to this point, and let's first, what I can do is I can just write here like so just copy this thing, come to your sidebar, at this point paste this thing. I need to import this use auth state, just import that thing, save it. We need the auth also, save, right? And let's say I'm writing like log, I'm going to write console.log user, save the things, and at this point right click, inspect, and what I can do is, let's just a second, so console, first refresh the page, let's say, and image is missing the required properties alt, so let's find this alt. So it's like inside my loading, come here, add the width of 100, maybe like 200, height of 200, and like class of w dash full width, alt is equals to blank, and then I can write here like priority should be true, quality should be 100, save these things. Let's refresh the page, and let's close this thing, let's refresh it again, and let's see, yeah, that's coming great. Inspect, come here, click on the console, and again it's showing me like this. So it's like warning, validating missing DOM, like inside the sidebar component, button div button, okay. So what I can do is, we cannot use a button inside another button. So come to the sidebar, and let's see, you can find this button. You can just change these two buttons to a span tag, and you can add a cursor pointer to this, save these things. Now reload the page, and you can see there is no issues with any of these things. Now you can see these things like it's like localhost slash this thing image URL, let's click on this, coming like this. So what it's telling is, console is like the resource was preloaded using link preload but not used within a few seconds from the Windows load event. Please make sure it has an appropriate as value or it has preload intentionally. Just ignore that warning. Now come to this point, just open this thing, and you can find this email, and you're going to find like the display name. You can find this display name at this point. Now what I can do is, I need the display name, so where is that? Change this thing right here like user, and I'm going to use this chain technique to get rid of the errors, because while you are refreshing the page it's taking some time to load. So for that reason I'm going to use this chain technique, right, dot display name, save this thing. Now click on this, you can find this thing. Now I want the image, so just remove this thing right here like user dot photo URL, save this thing. Now just close this thing, and you can find this thing, right, looks great. Now you can find this logout option just like that. So what I can do is change this thing and this thing to make it like div, save this thing, and that works nice, right? Now what I need is I need to create this logout option, so it's going to be pretty much simple. So at this point I can write here like on click I'm going to create an anonymous function just like this. Let's say I'm just creating an logout function, let's say log out simply, just like that. Come on, let's see, save this. Now let's define it at this point, const logout equals to, I'm going to use it like async function, just like this, and then it should be like await SIG and sign out, just like that, and right here like auth. Save this thing, save it. Now reload it first, and let's click on this logout. Boom, we are logged out. Now let's click on this, and let's just open up the authentication. There's the emails. Now click on this, and boom, we are logged in. So we have finally completed, this search. You can see this front end part, the basic front end things, and you can see the authentication part. So we have also completed that thing. We have completed the loading part. Now what? Now we are going to create the, let's say I'm going to write here like search, and then I'm going to display my users at this point. I'm going to search for the users, and I'm going to display my users at this point. And when I click on those users, I want to add those to my chat list at this point, right? So let's do it. Right now I'm going to create a card component inside my components folder. So right click at this point, create a new file, name it as card.jsx, hit enter, RAFCE, okay, RAFCE, hit enter, save this thing. Now what I want to do is, whenever I'm searching at this point something just like that, then only I want to display my cards. But first let's display the cards and create the front end first, right? So come to the sidebar and just minimize this thing, and let's say after this div, at this point I'm going to create not at this point, it should be like, it is the search div, right? So basically like after this div, right, at this point I'm going to create another div, and it's going to be like class of w-full h-screen, okay, screen, and it should be like overflow should be hidden, and like overflow x, okay, overflow is hidden, okay, that maybe, or maybe like overflow should be like overflow y should be like auto, okay, just like that. And let's say I'm giving it a background, let's say vg-#FF. So to see the changes, right, you can see this thing. Now I want like my-5, maybe like mt-5, right? This looks nice. Now what I can do is inside this I'm going to display my card components. So just like this, right here like card, just like this, save this thing. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it like something this type of colors, okay, for right now. Come to this point, I'm going to give it a class of w-full, and let's say inside this I'm going to create like an image component. So it should be like this, and I have to import my image component. So it will be like import image from next/future/image, okay, image, just like this. Now at this point we need to give the source, so src is equals to, now let's say I'm just importing this image for right now. Come to this point, okay, and just let's say I'm just pasting it at this point, and then I'm going to pass that default image, default image, save this thing, and let's say I'm giving it like alt is equals to blank, and then width is equals to like 100, maybe like 50, and then let's say like height equals to, it should be like 60, and let's make the width also 60. Save this thing, and then I need to add the priority should be true, and then I need the quality should be like, there is 100, right? Save this much of thing, and then after this I want to display the name of the user. So let's say I'm creating a span element, or you can also use a p tag. let's say in this case I'm using the span element, and let's say I'm writing here like my name, just like that. Save this thing, and then come to this point right here, flex, save it. Item should be like center, and then maybe like justify between, not between, just give it like space x of 6, save it. Looks like this. Or maybe like I can make it like p-5 with border, okay, maybe like p-1, yeah, and maybe like py of 1 and px of 5, just like that. And then I can just add like rounded dash md, or maybe like xl looks nice. And then after this I want to change the border color, so like border dash hashtag this one, okay, like this. Save this thing, and this looks nice. And let's come to this point, and let's remove this background color from here, save it. Now come to this point. Now let's say I want another div. Let's say I'm just removing this thing, command X, creating another div, pasting this thing just like that, and giving it like some border, so like class name of border, like rounded full, okay, with w dash 60 pixels and h dash 60 pixels with overflow hidden. Looks nice. And let's say I am just reducing this size to like 40 pixels, okay, let's maybe like, okay, so just copy these things, just okay, select this thing, command D, maybe like 50, 55 looks nice, right? And then I want some spacing between them, so maybe like space x of 10, save it. Okay, add this thing. So what's going wrong with this? It should be like this. Save it. It's 10, or maybe like 7, 6 looks nice, right? Now what I want is I want to just give it a like come to this point. Let's increase this thing to a little bit, just like that. That looks nice. And I want the border should be like from bottom dash B, so it's going to look like this. And then I want like py of 3, looks nice, right? And let's come to this point, to the sidebar, and let's replicate this thing just like this, and it's going to look like this. And what I want is I want the cursor to be pointer, so cursor should be like pointer. And then I want to add a hover effect, hover like bg dash hashtag 000, so like a black color. You can see these things. This looks nice, or maybe like a little more light black. Save it. Okay, just increase these things, and not like reduce it, and I'm just trying, right? And yeah, now it looks nice. You can see these things, right? Now what I want is I want to display this thing only when when I just search here something, right? So let's say come to this point. What I can do is just make this, or let's say just copy this entire class, command X, and use parentheses, use the backticks, and here I'm going to write not the backticks, remove this thing right here, like search dot length, if it is greater than 0, just like that, it should be length. right? So if it is greater than 0, then only I want to display this thing. I want to add this class. Else, just paste this class again and make this h as 0, and add one more thing to both of the classes, that is transition of all. Let's say save it, and let's see if I'm writing here like something like this, and you can see that thing, boom, and you can see that how it appears, right? Now that is nice. That's I'm increasing this like this, and let's see, save it, and you can see this scroll bar. That's nice. Now this looks nice. Now let's remove these things. I'll just keep one at this point, save it, and this looks nice, right? Now what I need to do is I need to create the users collection inside my Firebase, right? So you can see at this point in my Firebase, okay, just to increase this height, and let's click on this build, and here you are going to find this Firestore database. Click on this, you can find this create database. Click on this start in test mode, click on this next, enable. Now at this point we need to create our users collection. So we are going to do from our app. So just open up your the app.js at this point, and here before you can see after this thing, at this point I'm going to use the use effect. Right here, use effect, just like this, and it should like this, and inside this I'm going to create my users collection. So it will be like whenever the user will log in, or you can say the user will refresh the page or visit the page, what it will do, it will just create the user. Like let's say if user exists, then it will just create the user, and whenever the user will revisit the website, it will just update let's say if it's timing, just like that. So in that case it will not repeat itself, right? Now let's create it, right? So what I'm going to do is at this point I'm going to use the set doc of Firebase. So let's first search for set doc Firebase, hit enter, click on this, and here what I'm going to do is just scroll down, and you're going to find this thing. Just copy this and paste it at this point, and then copy this thing also, this imports, command C, and I'm going to paste it at this point, just like this. And it is, you can say it is an await, so we don't need this await for right now, just like this. And it should be like whenever the user exists, so it should be like if user, then I want to do this thing, right? And let's import the doc and then the database, and I want to create a collection. Just write the collection name, it should be like users, and then we need to pass the ID, so it should be like user if it exists .uid. And then what I want to do is I'm going to just change these things. It should be like the user's name, so I'm going to write name is going to be the user if it exists dot display name. Then I want to add its email is going to be like user if it exists dot email. Then what I want is I want its photo URL, let's say photo URL, so maybe like image, simply image URL. It will be like user if it exists dot photo URL, just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a status at this point, maybe like online, it should be true, just like this. And I'm going to make it false whenever the whenever the user closes the site, right? Let's say I'm just opening my Telegram clone at this point that I have already created. Let's see. And at this point you can see this thing, and click on this, and you can find this online, because I have just, as I've told you, it is running on my another server, so it's showing me like online. Now whenever I just, you can say, if I click on this, you can see this thing, you can see this message, leave site, and if I click on this leave, what it will do is it will just make this online to false, right? So basically we are going to do that, right? So for that, just close this thing, we don't need this now. Now come to this point. So at this point I'm going to use a window function, that is window dot, it is add event listener, and the listener will be before, it will be before unload, right? So basically before unloading the data, I want to create a function, and it will accept the event, and then it will be like let's say I'm creating a a variable, let's say like the message, it will be like confirmation message, just like that, and it is going to be like let's say I'm writing here like, do you want to leave, just like this. And then after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a condition, that is if event is present, or it will be like window dot event, just like this, and it will be like window dot event, and it should be like dot return value, and it should be like I want to return the value, that is this one. So basically I am just displaying the message, right? And then after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the same thing, this thing, if user exists, then what you do, you just paste this thing and make this as false. And one more thing we need to add, that is after this and at this point we need to add, give a comma, that is give the parenthesis, and it will be like merge should be true, just like this. Save this thing. Now you can see merge is not defined, and it should be like, okay, we have to like write at this point like merge should be like true here also. So save this thing. Now this should work. Now if you come to the documentation, scroll down, and let's say just search for like command F merge, and you can find this merge true. You can see this thing, if you are not sure whether the document exists, pass the option to merge, right, the new data with any existing document to avoid overwriting the entire documents. So it will, what it will do is it will just overwrite the, you can say this particular document, right? So in that case we are going to have unique users in our collections, right? The users will not get duplicate, right? Now save this much of thing, come to this point, and let's say I'm just refreshing this page. You can see when I just hit command R, or let's say let's click on this cancel, let's say I'm just clicking on this refresh button, and you can find this thing. If I click on this reload, you can see this thing, it just reloads the page. And if you come to this point, just refresh this page, and I should get my users collection. And let's see, and you can find this users collection at this point, and I have my user at this point. You can see the email, the image URL, the name, and the online status is true, right? And let's say if I'm just closing this thing, you can see it has just changed to false. So this is great, right? Okay, command shift T, and at this point you can see this thing, it has been turned to true. That's great, right? So in this way you can get your status like online or offline. Now what I want to do is let's say I want to create another user. So let's click on this logout, and one more thing I want to do is whenever I'm just logging out, I want to make this online to false again. So it should be like just copy this much of thing, right? Command C, come to your sidebar, and where's that logout function. At this point, after this, let me just paste this thing, and I have the user, I need the set doc, I need the doc. Okay, just import this, the db, and then yeah, that much. Save it, and let's say come to this point, clicking on this logout. Boom, I'm logged out, and let's see, I can see online is false. Great. Now let's say I'm just clicking on this login. Click on this. Now come to this point, and you can find this thing. We have another user. Now you can see this thing. The name will be same. Obviously, you can see that there is two different emails. So the name is same because it's my email, right? Now let's say, and you can see this is true, and this should be like cancel. It should be like false. You can see this is false and this is true. That's nice, right? Now what I want to do is, whenever I'm searching here, I want to display all my users right at this point, and it should be like I don't want to display the user which is me. I don't want to display myself, right? So it should be like I want to display all the users except me, right? So let's do it. Come to this point, and here what I can do is I'm going to get all my users. So what I can do is, after this logout option, at this point I can create a const, and then it will be, let's say I need to create a reference of this users collection. So like users users ref, it will be I need to create a reference to my collection. It will be collection, so import the collection, right? So you can see at this point we have to import the collection just like from here, and collection, and then I have to pass my database, and then my it will be like name of your collection, that is in this case users, just like that. And then what I need to do is I can just query the users, but in this case I don't want to query. What I want to do is I want to create a snapshot, right? So to get the data we need to use the React Firebase hooks. So what I can do is create a const, and it will be my user snapshots, just like this, and comma loading, maybe like loading 2, because we have this loading already defined. So it should be like use collection. It should be like use collection, and I need to pass my users ref to this, just like this, and we have to import this thing. So what I can do is I come to this point right here, import use collection from React Firebase hooks / Firestore. Save this thing, right? Now at this point what I can do is I'm going to log all my user snapshots. It's like user snapshots dot docs, just like this. Come to this point, right click, inspect console, and you can find this thing is saying undefined. So let's first comment this thing, refresh the page, reload, and you can find this thing. You can find this, you can find this data. We have two elements. So let's say I'm writing here like I need the 0th element. It should be like dot data, just like this. Save this thing, and you can find the first element, right? You can see everything. So I'm going to use the map method, and I'm going to be like user snapshot dot docs. So come to this, inside this, use the curly brackets, paste these things, user snapshots docs dot map, and then I want to map each and every user, or maybe like each and every maybe like obviously user, and then it should be like I've already defined the user, so I don't want to mess with that. So it should maybe like simply writing like new item maybe, and it should be like this. Then I want to write return my card component, just like this. And just remove this from here, save it, and we need to pass the key. So key is going to be my item.id. Save it. Now let's come to this point, let's say searching for like something like this, and you can see I have 2 users. So first what I want to do is I want to just send my, you can say, send the name and this image and the ID of this particular user. So maybe like I can create, or maybe like I need to only pass my image and name. Let's say I'm just passing like name is equals to, it will be my item dot data dot, it's going to be the name, just like that, and it will be like make it name. And at this point write image URL, just like this, equals to item dot data dot image URL. Save this thing, and then come to this point, we need to get that thing. So right here name and then image URL, just like that. Save it, and then I'm going to pass my image URL here. Save it, you can see that thing, and then it should be like what I can do is I need to pass my name right now, right? So it can be like just like this, and it should be my name. Save it. This looks nice, and it's not showing this image. So let's see what is wrong with that. Right click at this point, inspect, and it is showing me like this. So src image URL, and it is not showing me that image. Now what's going to be wrong with that? Let's just copy this thing, command T, command V, and your file could not be accessed. So if I right click at this point, inspect, and here I can see the image URL, but not at that point. At this point I cannot see the image. So what I can do is just refresh the page for once. Let's click on this reload again, and let's see, and I'm getting only one user. I'm not getting another user. Now what will be wrong with that? What is wrong with that? If I click on this, so it's only showing me mine user, and boom. So basically it's just taking some time to load, maybe, or maybe it is because of the internet connection. Let's say what I can do is I can just come to this point, and I can just write here like let's create a loader, right? So at this point, like I'm just writing here like creating a loader component, maybe like card LOADER loader, should be card loader CARD dot JSX RAFCE, and command B, and just I'm going to copy this much of thing, command C, come to this point, paste. Okay, paste it at this point, remove this thing, paste it, right click, format document. Now save these things. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the name and image and this entire div. Let's say I don't want this thing, and it should be like I want some divs with class of w-full and h-10 pixels, bg- hashtag triple app with animate of pulse, let's say like this, and let's say come to this point, let's say at this point card loader, just like that. Save this thing, and you can see this thing. Let's come to this point and let's duplicate this thing 3 times and save it, and it's not showing anything. So width of full, and let's say what I wanted, maybe like 100 pixels, not walking, carloader.jsx, and it is not showing that. So what I can do is I can just comment this thing for right now, and that is not working. Save it. Command J, Control C, restart the server. Cancel. CLER clear. Yarn dev. And now reload the page. Reload. So I'm writing here like something like this, and it's showing me this. Now come to this point and remove this flags, everything. I don't need those. Save it. And it's not showing. Yeah, now it's working. Just close this thing and remove the space X and the cursor pointer also. Save it. And now let's see, and it's not working like that. I think this is because of the internet connection. Let's see, the connection is weak. Okay, so just give me a minute. Now hopefully there will be no problem in the connection of internet. Now let's say you can see these things. Now what I can do is I can just give it like space Y of 5. Save it. Maybe like 2. Okay, 2 looks nice. And what I can do is I can change this to like 70%. Save it. And this to be like 50%. So it will look like this. And I can just use some different colors. Save it. Maybe like this one, like this. This looks nice, right? Now we have created this card component. Now what I want to do is save this thing, come to the sidebar. At this point what I want to do is Command X. It should be like I'm going to like check loading to. If it is true, then I want to create a div, and then maybe like, let's say if it is like not loading to, just like this, then I want to show this thing, and it should be like else, create a div just like this, and paste these things just like this. Save it. And let's say if I'm refreshing it, Command R, reload, and let's see if I'm writing like just like this, and you can see this thing. Now this is working. Now whenever it will be like in the loading state, it will just show these cards, right? Now this is great. Now what we can do is let's remove this border, right? I don't like that border. Come to this point, remove this border. Yeah, now it looks nice. Now what I want to do is I want to like display only those users that I'm searching at this point, and it should not show me the user that is me. It should not show me myself, right? You can say I'm just logged in using this account, so it should not be shown at this point. Now for that I come to the sidebar at this point, and here what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, just select this Command X right here, if, and I'm going to give the conditions, right? So it's going to be like if it's going to be like my if item dot data, it should be data dot name dot to lowercase, just like that, dot lowercase dot includes, and then I'm going to check like if it includes my search, right? So includes search dot to lowercase, just like this, and then I'm going to check just like this, and item dot data dot name, if it is not equals to, okay, not equals to, if it is not equals to my user dot display name, just like that. That looks nice. And then I'm going to paste this thing here, save it. Now you can see I'm writing here like n and it's showing me like this. Now if I write something like this, it will not show anything. Now let's say I'm writing here like a ch. Great, this is working, right? Now, so what I want to do is, whenever I will click on this, or let's say whenever someone clicks on this, what I want to do is I want to create a chat collection, right, which will contain two users, that is me and the user with whom I'm just chatting, right? That is, it should contain the logged in user and this user on which I'm just clicking, right? So let's do it. Come to the cards.jsx. At this one, I'm going to create a function const. It will like add chat equals to async function, and then it should be like this, just like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a collection. So come to this point and just click on this. So you should like click on this add data and come to this point and you can set doc. I need the add doc. So it should be like, let's search for let's say command F add doc, and you can find this add doc. So we need to import these things. Command C. I'm going to paste this thing, save it, and then copy this thing. Command C, paste it here, and then I'm going to create on click functions to this point right here, like on click. What I want to do is I want to just run this function, that is add chat, save it, just like that. Now two things I want to do at this point, like I want to create an array. It should be like I want to create an array of users. It should be an array, and then just like this, and change this thing. It should be like chats, right? And here I'm going to pass two things, that is one is my logged in user and another will be like on the user on which I'm just clicking, right? So let's first come to this point and let's just copy this thing, because we need our logged in user, paste it, and import the auth and the use auth state. And then the first user is going to be my user dot, I'm going to pass my email, right? So it's like user dot email, because the emails are unique, right? Save it, keep a comma. And another thing that I want to add is I want to add this you can say this user. So I can just pass, you can say I have the email at this point, so I also need the email. I have the name, so I need the email. So I hit email and come to this point and I have to pass that email, right? So where is that? From at this point I'm going to pass my email. Is going to be my item dot data dot email, save it. Come to the card.jsx and I'm going to pass the email as email, simply save it. In this way I'm going to get a chat collection. So just like this is great. And now what I want to do is let's try. And then before doing this thing, one thing I want to check if this collection already exists in my database. So instead of, you can say, doing this add doc, what I can do is I can make it like, I can say doc ref await add doc. Instead I can also use the set doc. So what it will do is, if it exists, it will just update it, right? So it will just update if it already exists. So let's try to use the set doc, and let's import the set doc. And let's say what I want to do is, inside the set doc we have to pass not the collection but basically the document. So what I can do is come to the sidebar and let's just copy this thing, command C, come to here and let's paste this thing right here, like await and it should be my chats, and then I need the database, so import the DB, import the doc, just like that. And then I want to create users, which will be an array which will contain my user dot email, and I want my email, just like that. Save it, and you can say, so right click, format document, and there is an error, so make it like this, or just remove I think I should remove this thing. Save it. Yeah, great. Right click, format document, looks nice. Now what I want to do is I need to give it a unique ID, right? This is an important thing, right? So let's try to make it like it should be like I can make it like that's I'm using this backticks $, and it should be like I want to pass my user dot email, maybe like user dot email, let's say, or maybe like I can use the user's ID, so I can use two IDs. I can combine two IDs and I can make it this thing, right? So what it will be like, I need to pass the ID from here, from this point. Where is that? Come to this point from here, so I need to pass an ID, and so it will be like ID will be my user, not user, it should be like item dot data, not item dot data, it should be like item dot ID simply. Save it, and then come to this point. I need to get that ID right here, like comma ID, and I can make it like user dot UID, and then I can add a dash, or maybe like I can simply like give another $, this thing, and it will be like simply ID, and then I can add here like chats dash, just like this. Save it, or maybe like simply, yeah, just like this. And let's say let's try it, right? I can just write here like add a console log, or maybe like an alert message, alert, it should like chat added. Save it, come to this point, let's click on this, and let's wait. You can see this is chat added. Okay, come to this point, and let's refresh it, and you can find the chats at this point, and you can see this thing. I have a users and I have this thing. You can find these two things, right? That is great. Now okay, now let's see if I'm clicking on this again. Let's see, click on this again, chat added. Okay, come to this point, and you can see there is only one chat. So this means if it already exists, it will not replicate that thing, right? That is great, right? Now come to this point. What I want to do is I want to get all my chats, and I want to display all my chats at this point, right? So it's going to be like what I can do is, okay, before that let me tell you, if you come to this point, not this, to this point, scroll down, let's say like, now if you come to this point, what you can see is I have used some different logic in this, you can say in this documentation, but you can say at this you can say in the previous project, and I'm using something different in this project, right? That is I'm creating for right now, right? Now it's up to you. You can just follow, you can say this thing, or you can use the algorithm that I have used in this thing. It's up to you. Now I will provide, you can say this source code in my GitHub, right? So you can just access that from my GitHub. So let's come to this point, and here I'm going to display all my cards, right? So I'm going to create another component. It will be like my chat card, card chatcard.jsx should like JSX. Hit enter, and I'm going to copy everything from here. Command A, Command C, Command W, and then Command V. And I'm going to change this card and this thing to like chat card. Save it, and I don't need this function, and just like that, save it. And now what I can do is I can come to the sidebar component, and after you can see this div, I'm going to create another div, and like I'm going to give the same class to this also. So like copy this class, Command C, come to here, class, it should be paste this thing, save it. You can see that thing, and I can just change this empty5 to empty2, and inside this I'm going to add my chat card component. Obviously it is going to give the error, so just come to this point, remove this on click function first, and just make it like this, not this. Just give this thing and add this default image, so it will like if it exists then it will show this, or it will just show this much of thing. You can see this thing. Now if it exists it will show this, if it exists it will show this, right? And the name, so I can write here like, I can do the same thing, write like user, okay, just like this, user. You can see this thing, this looks nice. Now what I can do is come to the sidebar, and now what I want is I want to get all my users, so not users, all my chats, and then from there I want to display all my you can say my users, right? So it's going to be like where is that, just copy these two things, comment this thing, paste it, and it should be like my chats ref, and it should be like my chat snapshots, and then it should be like loading of 3, and it should be my chats ref, just like that. In this way I'm going to get my chats, and here what I'm going to do is I want to display only my receiver's email, because you can say at this point, if you come to this point, it is an array, right? So I want to display my receiver's email, right? So let's see what we can do for that is let's think. So what I want to do, I want to display all my chats, right? So I should only display my chats, right, which contains my email. So I can write here like const, I'm going to use the query sort of thing. So like here q is equals to like I want like query. So this is an amazing thing given by Firebase. Then pass the chats ref, comma where, then import where, and then right here like where my is going to be like where my users, that is users is an array. So we have a method called array contains. If it contains my email, right, that is my user dot email, and then I'm going to pass, you can say my q at this point, save it. And query is not defined, so we have to just import query, just like that, and it should work, right? You can see this point where query, where we have imported everything. That's nice. And then what I want to do is I want to display my email, not email, I want to display. So right now I want to display my chats, so it should be like chat snapshots is going to like chat snapshots dot docs, which like this. I want to use the chain, you can say chain technique. It should be like docs dot map, and I'm going to map each and every chat. It should be like return I want to return my chats. So it should be like chat card, just like this. Save it, and it should look like this. So it's not showing us. Just refresh the page, just click on this reload, and it should work. And we are not getting anything, so let's console log at this point. Here log console dot log. I want to log my chat snapshots dot docs. Save it, like dot the first element of my docs dot data, just like this. And here should is telling us like undefined. So basically it's not, we're not getting that. So you can say users. Okay, it is not users, it should be like, oh, it is users, right? Come to this point, it is users, users. Okay, we have to change this users, right? It should be like chats. Okay, now it should work. Reload the page, right click, inspect, console, and we got our use, you can say users data, right? Now we need to define the key. So I can just write here like key is going to be my document, or document should be like my chat.id. Save it. Now what I need is I want to pass my chat, or I can just pass all the chats, and I can try. So what I can do is I'm going to write like chat is equals to, or maybe like my chat, it should be like chat data is going to be my chat, and then come to the to this point, and here what I can do is just remove everything and write like chat data, and then you can say it is not defined this thing, so I can just remove this thing, be like blank, make it blank, save it. Now what I can do is I'm getting my chat data. So first what I can do is just log my chat data, should like console dot log chat data, just like that. Right click, inspect, console, just reload the page, got the data. And what I can do is chat, if it exists, dot, I have dot users, and then like chat data, I have the user is telling me undefined. So why is telling me undefined? I have chat and I have users, and basically which is an array, it should show me the users, and what's going to be wrong with that? It should be like chat data dot data, it should be like this, dot data, it's like dot users. Save it. Yeah, now I got my users. Now here we are getting all our data. So what I can do is I can do like filter dot, it should be like dot filter, and I want to filter each and every user, and then it should be like I want to return my user that is not equals to my, it should be like, make it like simply you, it should be like you, because I have already defined the user at this point. Should be like that user should be like, or make it like item, which is nice, right? Item, and then right here like item, then I have the item, and item should not be equals to my user dot email. Save it, and you can see I'm getting this thing, and I'm logged in using my different email. That is this is my chinmay09 email, and this is my screen technicals, right? So this is giving me my users data. So what I can do is I can write here like my const receiver is equals to I can just copy this thing Command X, paste it here, and it should be like the first element of this, and this is basically the email of my receiver. So like receiver email, save it, and then if right here like receiver email, then it's going to give me this email. Right now what I want to do is I want to get the data of my receiver, that is my display name and the image, URLs, everything. So I can do with one thing, that is const is going to be my users ref. Let's copy the thing from here, copy these two things, come to this point, paste it, and I want to use the query. So like const q is equals to query, and then query is going to be like, I mean query my users ref, comma where my email is equals to it is equals to my receiver email, just like this. And then I'm going to pass my queue at this point, and I need to import my use collection, and then my where db, everything is imported, save it, just like this. And then at this point I'm going to like make it like user snapshot, not shots. And here what I can do is write log, I'm going to write console.log user snapshot, and should like dot docs dot the first element, and should be like dot data, just like that, save it, and you can see I'm getting all my data. So what I need is I want write const, it will be my name. So name is equals to just copy this thing, paste it here, like dot name, maybe like display name, it is display name dot display name, just like this. And then const, it should be my image, so image URL is going to be my, paste this thing, dot photo URL, just like that. And then I'm going to pass my the photo, not photo, is like image URL, save it, and remove this thing, and we're not getting our image URL. And let's say I'm just removing this thing, writing here like name, I'm not getting the name even. So let's see what is going to be wrong with that. Okay, data dot display dot photo URL, come to, okay, it is image URL. Okay, so right here like it is name, and it should be image URL. Now this should work. Boom, we get that, right? And I will use that thing right at this point, that is my default image, just like that. And now remove all the console logs, and we are ready to go. Just remove this also, right click, format document, save it, come to this point, sidebar, and remove all the console logs, save it, right click, format document, save it. Now I need that, you know, that loader thing. So what I can do is just right here select this much of thing, command X, right here loading 3. If it is, then it should be like, if it is not, and then I want to show these things, else show this, command C, paste it here, save it. Let's refresh the page, reload, and let's see. And you can see this thing, this is nice, right? And what I can do is, you can also show the status of this user, like if it is online, then show a green color dot at this point, you can also do that. So come to the chat card, and let's say after this I can create another span element and give it a class of w-5 with h-5 with bg-green-500. Save it, and it should be like rounded full, and maybe like I can just change this to like 2 w-2. Save it, that looks nice. Or maybe like that looks nice. Or what I can do is I can just command X, cut that thing from there, and I can paste that inside this div just like this. And what I can do is I can just make it like absolute, and I can make this div as relative, and I can give it like z dash maybe like 999, like just like this, and it should be like from top it should be 2, maybe like 1/2. What I can do is I can just remove this top. I can just simply come to this point and I can make it like flex, justify center, item center. Save it, and you can see this dot at this point. Now what I can do is, so it is coming here, I want it should be like at this point. So let's remove this thing, as I can see that thing. So it should be like from bottom it should be 0, and from right it should be like 2, maybe like 5, not 5, it should be like 3, or let's say 3, 2, just like that. And from bottom it should be something. Okay, one thing I can do, I can just remove that overflow hidden, then this is going to work. So remove this overflow hidden from here, save it, and rounded full. And what I can do is I can just write here like class of rounded full, save it. And what I can do is come to this point. Okay, it should be like 0, or maybe like 4. Okay, maybe like 3 is nice. Let's make it 2, and change this bottom to like 2. 2 is nice, and I can write 1, and I can increase the width to be like 4. This is like 3. That is nice, and I can put the right to be like 1 or 0. Okay, this looks nice. I think you can see this thing, but I want to show this only if the user is online. So I can just write here like const online is equals to, just like that. Save it, and I can write here like just command X, and it should be like online. If it is true, then paste this thing, else nothing. Save it, and you can see that thing. Now what I can do is I can just open up my another browser, that is Safari, and at this point I'm writing like localhost 3000, login with Google. Let's say I'm writing here, I'm just logging using this account. And you can see this is showing me this online button at this point. Now come to this point, and you can see this thing also, right? That is great, really great and awesome, right? Now what I want to do is whenever I click on this, you can say when I click on this, I should open up my messages page, where I can see my just like my image, my name, my last seen, date, time, and at this point I need my input, and here I want to show my messages, and that's going to be pretty much simple, right? Now what I can do is come to this point, so it should be like come to the pages folder, create a new folder, name it like chats, and inside this I'm going to create a new file. It should be my id, just like this, .js, right? And hit enter, just like this. Now let's say if I click on this, it should like redirect me to a id, right? Now let's write here like RAFCE, hit enter, save it and make it like id, just like that. Now close this thing, come to the card, chat card to this point, and select this much of thing, Command X, create a link tag, this one, just like this, /link, and I'm going to paste this thing like this, and then I'm right here like href is going to be my backslash, it should be like /chats/ add the $, and it should be like it should open up the chats page. It should be like I need the ID for that. So yeah, I have the chat data, so I actually need the chat data.id. This will like chat data.id, just like this. Save it. Now let's click on this, and I'm getting that thing. You can set this ID thing, right? So what I can do is come to this id.js and give this div a class of w-full, or let's say what I can do is just open up your index.js and just copy this div, Command C, Command W, and then paste that div at this point, just like this. Save it. Boom, you can see this thing. Now this is great. Now inside this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a div. So just change this to React, just like that, and it should give me the div. And inside this I want my image components. I will create another div, and I need my image. Okay, it should be like this. It is a closing tag, and right here import image from next/future/image, just like that. Save it. And what I need is I need a source, src is equals to, and I need that default, the default thing. So just copy this thing, come to this point, paste it here, and then pass the default image. Save it, and it should be like ... not like that, it should be like /... Boom, got that thing. Now I give it a class, or not this thing, give this a class of w-full with p-5 with, it should be like bg-black, and I can use this color, or I can just make it like black. And what I can do is I can just give it transparent background, just like that, and I can give it a backdrop filter, that is like backdrop blur should be like small. Save it. Boom, you can see that thing. Now let's give it like width, it should be like 50. Save it. Maybe like 70 looks nice. And I can like give it a height of 70 with priority of true, and quality should be 100, and alt should be just like that. You can simply like here loading, or maybe like I'm just giving it blank, right? Just like that. And then I want another div, and inside this I want to just write like my name. This is Chinmay. So save it, and I can use a span element, let's say span tag, paste it, and then I can use another span element, if like last seen, last scene, it should be like last scene at something, some timing, just like this. It's like 00:55, not 55, it should be like 21, or maybe like 444 at, not at, it should be like on. I can give it like on 12/21/22, not 21, it should be like 0, or maybe like 11, or maybe like 10. Save it just like that, and I will come to this point. So this div should like flex with item center with space x of 5. Save it, and then this looks nice. And what I can do is it should be, I'm using the span elements, right? So what I can do is change all the span elements to div. Save it, boom, you can see that thing. It looks nice. Now I'm going to show my chats here, and then I'm going to create an input tag at this point. So let's complete the front end first, and then we are going to see how can we just send the messages and get the messages, right? And you can see as I have just closed that tab, so it's, you can see it is not showing that green, that green circle. That's nice. And let's see what I'm going to do is let's say I have this thing, I have this thing. So this is one div, and after this div I'm going to create another div, give it like class, and then it should be like w-full, and then I can just make it like h-50vh with bg-white. So let's see, let's increase this to come to this point, make it like 80vh, maybe like 77vh. Looks nice, right? Now just remove this thing right here, like overflow should be like overflow y should be auto, and overflow x should be like hidden. Save it. Now inside this I'm going to display my messages. So it should be like, I want to display cards, so you can create a component at this point, or let's say, let's create a component, new file. It should be like my message. I make this as capital .jsx, hit enter, rafce, come to the id page, and here I'm going to create a div with a class of w-full, and it should be like flex, just like that. Now inside this thing I'm going to pass my message component, this one, just like this, and come to this point, remove this thing, give it a class of w-max content. It will be obviously max content. It should be like, let's add some message like lorem 10, save it, and maybe like lorem 6. It should be like this, and it should be like w-50 pixels, maybe like 150, maybe 200 looks nice. And I can give it like I can give it like max dash, this one, max width should be like 200. And then what I can do is I can give it a background bg dash hashtag 000, and what I can do is I can just change that color to like that. Boom, bam, boom, just like that. And what I can do is I can just give it a p of 2, and then it should be like rounded dash bottom dash excel, and it should be like rounded dash top right dash excel, just like that. And then come to the ID page, and at this point I can just give it some padding to this div, like p-5. It's going to look like this. Now if I write here like justify and save it, you can see it's come from this point. So in this way you can say like if I'm sending my it will just show my messages from here, and I will see the message of my you can say of this user from this point. So let's see, and let's first now create the input tag at this point. So after this div I'm going to create another div like class of w dash full, and it should be like I need an input tag. Input type will be text, give it a class of w dash full, and then like border, save it, like px of 10, maybe like it should be like p r should be 10 and p l should be 5 and py should be 4, and then bg dash transparent, like rounded full, looks nice. And I can add some padding to this like p-5, so it's going to look like this. And what I can do is I can just give it some background color, so I can just copy this background, so just paste it here, save it, and it looks like this, nice. And I can just make it like this. Like I can also use that backdrop filter, right? So it's like backdrop blur small, boom, looks like this. And I can just give it like edge dash full. You can see it takes the entire width, the available width, right? It looks nice. And then what I can do is I can make it like flex. Okay, it should be like item center, and it will just go like that. So I don't want to make it like that. It should be like let's say after this what I want to do is I want to create a span element, or let's say a button, save it. And what I can do is come to the React icons and search for send, and let's say you can just select any one up from this. So let's say I am taking this one. Come to this point, we have to import that. So I can import this thing from React icons /io, save it. And then I'm going to paste that at this point, save it. And it is telling like io send sharp invalid type, expected a string. So let's change one thing. Come to this point, let's use this one. Let's try to use that, save it, change this thing, save it. Again just give me like id. So what it is telling is check the render method of id. Error, element type is invalid, expected a string for built-in components or a class. I don't know. Okay, it is io. Make this as md, save it. Now that should work. Yeah, now that's working. Now give this button a class of w should be like text dash 3xl. Okay, and what I can do is make it like flex, and if I'm making like flex and show like that, it's like justify center, item center, and that's not going to show us, that's going to go down. So what I can do is I can just take this thing, command X, and then right create a div, paste it here, boom, and I'm getting that, and it's not working fine. So just remove this flex. What I can do is I can take these two things, Command X, create a div, paste inside this div, and I can give it a class of flex. Looks nice, and it should be like item should be center. And what I can do is, okay, I can make this as absolute from right. It should be like 4, and I can make this div as relative. Save it, and looks great. And I can come here, I can write the messages, and what I can do is I can just change some of the CSS, like outline should be none, focus should be like border dash. I need that color from my sidebar, so let's see, copy this color, paste it here just like this, save it. Let's click on this, and you can see this thing looks amazing, and you can just write your messages at this point. Now I'm going to create that messages sort of thing. So it will be like, when I click on this, it should just send the messages, and then I'm going to display my messages in a proper order, and then also I'm going to display, you can say, this thing. So let's do it. So you can see at this point I have this, you can see this last scene. So for that, what we can do is come to this point, and I can just add a last scene at this point. Last scene, it should be like server timestamp. So we're going to use this thing, and then copy this thing and paste it here also, save it, go to the you can say the sidebar, come to this point, and then paste this at this point also, save it. Now this should work. Right click, format document, save it. Now just reload the page, reload, and come to this point, and have this users, and you can see the last scene at this point, right? And there's no last scene with this user because we have not refreshed this user, so we can do that. Let's log out, and server timestamp is not defined, so we have to just import it, save it. That should work. Login, now click on this, boom, you can see, and it's showing me this thing. So it should, okay, I have the online should be false, it should work, right? Now I don't know why it's not working. Now what we can do is I can just take this entire thing, Command X, I can paste it before this thing. So it's like I want to do this thing, I can add a await just like this, and this should work. Let's say I'm just writing here, come to this point, is online, and I have the last scene. Let's say I'm just writing here, like click on this, log out, and let's see, false. Yeah, now this is working. Login, and what I can do is log in with this account, and let's see, yeah, again log out, come to this point, it should be like false, come to this point, it is false. Great. Now let's log in again, click on this. Now let's see, yeah, this is worked right now. Great. Now what I can do is come to your ID page at this point, and here first I'm going to create my messages, and then we will just deal with this at the last. So let's first create the messages. So come to this point, and here I'm going to create a function const or create, or like create message is going to be like async function, just like this. Hit enter, and then it's going to like I'm going to use that add doc right now, right? So where is that add doc? Command F add doc. Okay, copy this command, this import, paste it here, and then copy this thing, Command C, paste it here, just like that. Right click, format document. Now I'm going to create a collection of messages, and then I need to import the database, and this is great. Now it should be like name is going to like this, so it should be like my message, and should be like I need to pass my message, just like that. So I can use the use state function hook. So right here like use state snippet, make it like message. It should be initially blank. Come to the input tag at this point, and I just add on click, not on click, it should be on change. On change, create anonymous function, pass the event inside this. It should be like this, and set my message to be like e.target.value, just like that. And then value is going to be my message, just like that, and should be like required. And what I can do is I can add a placeholder to this. Placeholder is going to be like is equals to type here, save it. Now let's come to this point, and use state is not defined, so we have to import use state, import it, save it. Looks nice, and you can see this thing. Now what I can do is I need the message, then I want, you can see this URL, right? So it's going to be like so I need to get that URL. So what I can do is I can just write here like I can use the get server side props. So make it like this, and just click on this. I need the menu, and click on this data fetching, click on this get server side props, copy this thing, Command C, come to this point, paste it, and then what I need is I need my ID. So it's like ID is going to be context dot query dot ID, just like that. And then I'm going to pass my ID here, save it, and let's get the ID, save it. Now come to this point, and then at this point I'm going to pass my chat ID, and then it should be like ID, right? And then I'm going to write right here like created at, it should be add server, not add server, simply like server timestamp. And then I'm going to import this thing, and it is imported, just like save it. Now we need this because we have to show them according to their timings, right? So in this way we got we set all the messages things, great. And then also I want the user, right? Which user is sending which message. So user is going to be like my user dot email, and I need my user. So like I'm right here like come to this point, come to sidebar, and let's copy this thing, come to this point, paste it, and I need the use auth state hook and need this auth, save it. And chat ID is like give a comma at this point, save it. It should work. Now just reload this page once, you will click on this reload, and this should work. And let's see, yeah, this is working. Now let's come to this point. At this point let's say something like hi, hit okay. Now if I hit enter, nothing will happen. So what we can do is one thing we can do is this is basically a form, so this is basically a form, so I can just change this two divs to form, just like this. I can just change this to form, and I can add like on submit it should be the create message, save it, and then I need the event, so right here like e, and right here like e dot prevent default, should like default default, just like that, and should be like e dot prevent default, just like that. Save it. Now right here like hi, hit enter, and come to this point and just refresh the page, and we should get the messages collection. You can see we got the messages collection. Click on this and we should get our message is hi. Now one thing I want to do at this point is, after doing this, I want to like set, it should be like set message, okay, should like set message to blank again. Save it. Now come to this point, let's say I'm just sending like okay, hitting enter, and you can see that thing. Come to this point, we got the okay message. Great. Now what I want to do is I want to get all the messages, and then I want to display the message at this point, which is going to be pretty much simple, right? Now what I can do is at this point I can just at this point I can write here like const messages SSAGES ref is equals to collection, then pass the db comma messages, just like this, and then like I want to query it, so I want to get that according to my, because I want to just order that thing, right? So I can get like right here like const q is equals to query. I want to query my messages ref comma order by, and I want to use the order by created at, just like that. Now just like that, and what I want to do is I want to use the use collection const messages or message snapshots comma loading, let's say loading 2 is going to be like use collection, and then I'm going to pass the q, just like that. Save it, and then come to this point, where is that to this, just take this much of thing, command x, curly brackets right here, messages snapshot, message snapshots, if it is dot docs, it should be like dot docs dot map. I want to map each and every message, it should like msg, because I have already used that name of message, just like that. And then I want to return my this div, right click, format the document, save it, and I can see this thing. So what I can do is I can just give it like mb-5, looks nice, and then here I want to just pass my message, so msg is equals to should be like not msg, should be like let's send the message, the entire message, let's say msg, save it, come to the message.jsx, and let's get the msg, and at this point I'm right here like const message is equals to msg, it should like msg use this thing dot data if it exists dot message, and then I'm going to pass the message at this point, message, save it, and you can see this hi okay, just like that. That looks nice. And what I want is I want to also display the timing, right? So before displaying the timing, I'm just logging out. Let's say log out, log in. Okay, I want to log in with this user, and let's see, and you can see this thing is showing me at this point. So I don't want to see this at this point. It should be shown in this site, right? Now click on this. Looks nice. Now what I can do is, for that, come to the ID, and where is that? Come to this point. Just remove this thing. Just remove this. Okay, should be like just remove this thing. Command X. Right here, msg dot data. It's like msg dot data dot user. If it is equals to my user dot email, right? If it is equals to my user dot email, what I can do is, if it is true, so I can just put this thing inside a parenthesis, and at this point I can paste this thing, and should be like else this thing, save it. And in this case it should be like, if it is true, it should be like in the end, or else it should just remove this end, save it, boom. You can see this thing. If I write here like hi again and hit enter, and you can see this thing, it is displaying this hi at this point. Looks great, right? Now what I can do is showing me this hi, this thing, which is really amazing. We have finally, you can see, let's I'm writing here like hi, and then like what's up buddy, hit enter, and you can see what's up buddy. So it is showing in a proper order. Let's say just, you can say logging out, click on this, I can see this thing, hi okay, this is what I have sent, and it is what this user has sent, right? Now what I want to do is I want to display the user name here, and the last scene, and the image. So let's do that. So what I can do is I can get the particular document which contains this, I can just get that thing which contains this, you can say this this ID, right? So come to this point, let's say click on this chats, and here you can see this thing. So I want to get this particular document, and then I can just get my receiver email, right? So it's going to be more simple. So what I can do is come to, I need that particular document, right? So let's come to this point, search for command right here like doc, and I want to get the doc, right? So what I can do is add data. I want to get the data. I should like read data, once, click on this. Now order queries, let's say get data once, listen for real-time updates. Okay, so let's click on this, or maybe like this, and it's like, you can see this thing. What I'm searching here is, let's say what I can do is, let's search for command A, doc ref, or like I can write like how to get a document in Firebase. Simply I want to get a particular document, right? So like this, get data, and let's search for that particular document. You can see this thing. So just copy this thing, and here at this point paste it, and then copy these two things, and then paste that at this point, and change it like chats, and make this thing as ID and save it, and write here log console.log doc snap, and should like if it exists dot data, I want to get the data just like that, and come to this point. At this point press command J, come to this point, just refresh the page, reload, and let's see, and you can see I'm getting that particular thing, right? So what I can do is, you cannot pass this simply to this thing, so what you can do is right here like const and make it like my chat data is going to be JSON dot stringify okay, stringify chat not chat data, stringify the doc snap, just like that, and then I'm going to pass this chat data here, and then I'm going to get that here, and then I can write here like come to this point. At this point, let's say I'm going to write here like const data is equals to JSON dot parse my chat data, just like that, save it, and undefined. So undefined, so basically like JSON dot, so what is giving me undefined, just remove this thing, save it, and it's again undefined. It should not be undefined. So okay, so at this point what I can do is I need this thing, so just copy this thing, paste it here, just like that. I need the data, command X, save. Now right click, inspect, and let's say at this point I'm just writing like log, okay, console log dot data, click on, go to the console, and I'm getting my data. At this point you can see my data, right? That's great. Now I need to get my receiver's email, so what I can do is I can just go to my chat card, and let's see, you can find this thing, receiver email, so just copy this thing, command C, come to your id.js, and then command J. At this point just paste it, and what I can do is a chat data dot data, so basically dot users, so change these things and make it like, just remove these things, it should be like this, save it, and let's say at this point I'm writing here like log and log my receiver email, save it, come to this point, inspect, and go to your console, and let's see, is undefined. Should not be undefined. You can see I have like chat data dot users, so let's say I'm writing here, just copy this thing, command C, paste it, and it's chat data. Okay, make this chat data simply data, save it. Now this should work, and I'm getting, that's great, really great. Remove this console log, and what I can do is go to your chat card and bring all these things, that is all these things, command C, and then paste this thing, save it, and I cannot define this queue, so maybe like Q2, loading should like loading 3, save it, and make it like Q3, and where is not defined, so just import the things, so use collection, we have imported that, we should like Q2, and then where is that, where, import the query, save it, okay, where, boom, and let's say what I can do is I'm going to pass everything, so here, where is that image, messages, images, right? So at this point what I can do, I'm going to just pass my image URL just like this, save it, and I got that thing. I can make it like class. Okay, I can just give it a class of rounded full. Save it. Boom, looks nice. Close this thing. Now what I want is I need my name, so I should be like remove this thing right here, name. I need my last scene, all these things. So what you can do is come to this point right here, like const, it's going to be like last scene, or maybe like it should be like new date is equals to new date, and it should be like I want to get that last scene. So const last scene should like just like that, and then it should be just like this, and then I want to, so at this point what I can do is I can write here that is my last scene and dot seconds. Okay, seconds, seconds, and then I can multiply it by 1000, and then let's say save it, and right at this point I'm just write here console log dot log new date, just like this. Save it, right click, inspect console, and let's see invalidate. Now to see the exact date, what I can do is I can write here like first let's say I'm just console.log the last scene, save it. I'm getting it is seconds. Okay, where we missed out the spelling, so just change this, just remove this extra c, save it, and you can see I'm getting the exact date, right? Now what I can do is I want, you know, my it's going to be like I want my current time, so it's going to be like dot time, so it should be like new date dot to local string. Okay, just like that, date string, and it should be like it's going to give me my date, and I want the time also, right here, time. Save it, and you can see this thing, I'm getting my time. So what you can do is remove this thing, and at this point make it like const, it should be my time is equals to this thing, and like to I'm going to slice this thing, slice, I'm going to slice is like 0, let's say I want like 5 characters, just like that, and then I want to pass the time to this point. Where is that? At this point, so right here like time, and you can see the time, and I need the date. So where is that thing? Just duplicate this thing, make this as date, change this time to date, and remove this console log, and then I want to pass my date. So where is that time, and just remove this right here like date, save it, and I can use it like if time exists, just like that, and it should be like this. Okay, because during the time of loading it will not show the, you know, the time. Looks nice, and you can see, just close this thing, and you can see the exact timing. Okay, I'm just slicing it by 5. Just remove this slice from here, save it, boom, great. Now what I can do is I want to show the timings of my messages. It's going to be pretty much simple. So you can see where's the messages. I'm getting all my messages at this point. So in the similar way I want to get my messages timings, right? So come to your messages.jsx, and at this point you're like const time is equals to msg dot like dot data, and it will be like dot last seen, and not last seen, like created at, just like that. And then right here log, give me my time. We should not time, it should be like last, it should like created at, and then command D command C, paste it here, save, right click, inspect console, and you can see this thing. I have this ET, right? And then I can just come to this point and copy these two things and then paste it here, remove this last thing right here, created at, save it, and then bring it here, change this to time, and I'm getting my time. But I want it like it should show me like in AMs, right? So you can just use one thing, that is you can just define the format, right? So at this point we are getting this time, so I can just make it like let's say so like time string. So you must use time from here and making it like simply like date, or maybe like simply time, let's say time, and I want the time. Let's paste this thing, save it, and okay, let's see. Okay, just add a colon, save it, boom. You can see I'm getting this thing. Now this is nice. There is our 12 hours format. Now what I want is should be like, I want to also show the AM and PM sort of things, so I can also do that. That's going to be more simple. Okay, so what we can do is let's say at this point, after this message, I'm going to create another div, and I'm going to display, let's right click at this point, format the document first, and at this point I'm going to display my time first, save it, and you can see this thing, and I can write here class like w-full text should be at the end, save it, looks great. And what I can do is, you can say I'm just using this min, so make it like a min, and maybe like min of 100, looks nice. And I need that AM and PM, so what I can do is I can write here like I can write here like it should be like if time, if it is greater than equals to 12, then it should be like, I should show PM, else AM, save it. Now you can see it's showing me 12. You can see the correct timing is AM. You can see the time at this point, you can see it is 12:31, and this is the night time, so it is great. It's showing me the correct timing. And in the similar way you can also show the time at this point also. So what I can do is I can just take this much of thing, copy these things, command C, go to the id.js, and where's the time? Here I have the time. Just remove this time, and then this thing, this slice also, and then right paste these things, save here, and you can see this thing, it is showing me the correct timing, right? That is great. Boom, close this thing, right? And it is also showing the correct, I think the AM and PM is also correct, hopefully. So let's see. So finally we have completed, you can say, our Telegram clone web 1.0, right? Now we are going to see, you can say, deploy this to Vercel, right? So just I'm going to close everything from here, and I'm going to do one more thing, that is come to this rules, and we're going to set it to production, right? Because we are using this in test mode. So what you can do is you can just remove these things, just like this right here, like if true, simply just like that, and boom. Okay, now click on this publish. Now wait for some time. Boom, it has been done. Come to this point, refresh the page once, click on this reload. Now, okay, last seen seconds, cannot read the properties of undefined, obviously. So what we can do to, you can see this in the ID, right? So at this point we can just come to this point and add this thing, save it, refresh the page and come to the messages part. Okay, at this point, and also add this thing just like this, save it. Now what I can do is let's click on logout. I'm going to test with another account. Let's say I'm using some other account, use another account. Let's say I'm using like some demo accounts of mine, so maybe like I can use my, maybe like let's see which account I can use. Let's say I'm using this account, next, and okay, click on this, okay, like no thanks, and got that. You can see the things, you can see it's showing me all these things, but it should not show me. So I come back, boom, refresh it once, reload, looks like this looks great, right? And come to this point, and what I can do is just search for like C, and showing me these two accounts. Click on this, chat added, okay, and I want to do one more thing, like click on this, where is that, sidebar, command P, sidebar.jsx, and let's say here you can see where is that, not is like inside my chat card or simply card. So command P, search for card, come to this point, and you can see I'm showing this alert message. So what I want to do is, after showing this alert message, what I want to do is I want to set my this search, right? So I need that search event. So come to the sidebar, and where's that card, and here I'm going to pass my set search is equals to set search, command D, command C, save it, and then I'm going to get that also, and then I'm going to write here like set search to blank, save it. Right, now let's click on this, and you can find this thing. Let's say I'm also adding my this account, click on this, and chat added, click on this, okay, boom, great. Now let's say I'm clicking on this, it's showing me this thing, and it is showing me these things. Now let's see, okay, now it should not show me it like this. Okay, now the problem here is I'm displaying all the messages, because I should only display, you know, the messages of my logged in user, right? You can say this user, I want to display my chats with that particular thing. So we can do that pretty much easily. What I can do is go to your ID, where is that ID, and where is that message. At this point I'm going to do a simple check, just command X right here, like if is it like MSG is going to be, if MSG dot is like data is going to be like dot ID, if should be like dot not ID, so like chat ID, if it is equals to ID. Now you can see I should have my ID. Yeah, I have the ID, should like this. Then I'm going to paste this thing. Now okay, so what I can do is command X, okay, remove this return statement from here, and remove this thing from here, and command X right here, like return, and then I'm going to paste this thing like this. Right click, format the document, and I'm not going to see any messages at this point, right? Unless I'm writing here like hi bro, just like this, hit enter, boom, and it is showing me like this. So what I can do is come to the messages.jsx, and You can see I'm just displaying the time at this point, so just like this, make it like blank. So let's say I'm writing here like okay, hit enter, and again that's not working. So what I can do is I should like oh, there's no problem with that, save it. Okay, now this is working fine. Now what I can do is I'm going to deploy this. So let's say I'm just opening my Safari. I'm opening that localhost 3000, and let's see, and you can see Vasundhara Legends, and it's showing me like this green button, right? That's nice, because you can see that thing. If I am adding my user at this point, and it will be added to this also user, and you can see this green thing. If you click on this, boom, you can see this as I'm writing here like hey, enter, boom, boom. We have finally created the Telegram Web 1.0 clone. Now what we are going to do is we're going to deploy it to Vercel, right? But before that, we need to let's first close all those tabs from here. We need to initialize with git. So right here like Control C. First run the command that is yarn dev, hit enter. Not yarn dev, sorry, it should be like yarn build, hit enter. So let's see if there is any errors, something like that, and we have an error. Key prop missing iterator. Okay, should be like in the ID. Boom. And where is that key is missing? Let's see. I'm using the map method, and I have just add the key at this point. So it should be like msg.id. Save it. Run the build again, and let's see again. So again we have to see where is it. It is missing. Where it is missing. Okay, should like key prop msg.id. It should work. Okay, so key prop, yeah, I have added the key prop. Key should like message.id. Okay, messages msg.data.user. Okay, should not be like message msg.id. It is id, right? So what I can do is let's say I'm just writing here at this point log. I want not to this thing, I want to log my msg here. So right here log console.log msg.id. save it. Come to this point, right click, inspect, and let's see console, and boom, just refresh the first page, reload. Okay, right here like yarn dev. Let's see, reload the page, command R. Okay, stay on the page, leave this page, command Q, boom, and command just reload the page again, reload. Now this time it should work, and like this. So you can see I'm getting the IDs. So first what I can do is command F, right here like log, search for all the console logs. So I have only one log, and here I have a second log. I don't need this log, and command P, messages.jsx, and I have this log. Remove that thing, yeah, command W. And what I can do is at this point is showing me that message ID. So key is msg.id, command F, search for map, and I have only one, right? That is great. And let's say okay, so open up Safari again, localhost 3000, boom, that is working fine. Let's say I'm just closing this thing, closing this tab. Let's say from here, leave, bam, Boom, working. And there is like, let's reload the page again. Reload. Let's see. Each child, it is like, let's say it is in ID inside my div, my app, div ID div. So I'm not getting that. Where is this? Is telling me like each child in a list should have a unique key prop. Okay. Check the method ID. See for more information like div at this point. So let's find it. Okay. I have only one map method and I'm passing my key at this point. Key is msg.id. That is great. And okay, I have to pass this key to this div. Boom, save it. Now this should work. And let's remove this console log. Save it. Command J, Control C. Right here, like not this one. Okay, like clear yarn build. Hit enter, and this time there should be like no errors. Close this thing. Let's see. Boom, done. Right now, right here, like git add -a, git commit -m. It is my initial commit. Hit enter, clear, and I'm going to create a git repository right now. So just open up my GitHub, and at this point I'm going to create a new repository. It will be my telegram -clone -youtube, and I'm making this as public, maybe like Telegram. So I'm making it public because I have to give you the source code and create the repository. Copy this command, paste it here, hit enter, git push origin main, hit enter, and let's see. Done. Now come to this point, just refresh this page. Boom, we got all the codes. And come to this one right here, like open up vercel.com and just create an account using your GitHub. Now I'm going to create a new project name, and create a new project, continue with GitHub, and I'm going to import this one, this telegram clone YT. Click on this deploy and wait for it. And we are done. Right now you can see this thing. Now like continue to dashboard. Now one more thing we have to do right now is just click on this link. Now it will just open up your your app. Now just command A, command C, go to your this what is this Firebase, go to your authentication, click on this settings, and you can see this authorized domains. Click on this, add domain, paste that link, add, and we are good to go. Come to this point, reload the page again, and let's just click on this login, and I can click on this. Boom, and you can see this is showing me online. Now I can just come to this point. I can write here like yarn dev, and I'm just running my this website on my localhost also. So come to this point and write here like localhost, hit enter, and you can see I will have now 2 accounts running on 2 different servers. One is on Vercel and one is on my localhost. And if you click on this, you can see the things. Let's say I'm writing here like, great job, guys. Hit enter, and let's come to this point, and you can see this great jobs. Thanks, man. Okay, right here. Thanks, man. Hit enter. Thanks, thank man. Right. Come to this point, you can see these things. Okay, this is really amazing, right? Now, what you have to do is you have to smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you like this video. So thanks for watching this video, guys, and I will see you next time in another amazing video.